I've been home sick the last few days, and my house is starting to reflect that fact. It's not looking good in here. However, I'm starting to feel a little bit better, believe it or not. So I'm getting the urge to kind of like snap out of it and refresh my space a little bit. I don't know why I want to do that right now in this state, but I do. So I'm going to try and do it with the least amount of effort possible. And that's what this video is going to be all about. First things first, I'm going to open up some windows. I'm going to wash my face. I'm going to put on some slightly cuter sweatpants. And I'm going to tidy up because unfortunately that is like the first boring step of refreshing your space. It's got to be kind of clean first. So here we go. Bippity, boppity, boo. Okay, I've cleaned up both myself and my house, and it's already feeling so much better in here. Honestly, you could stop after this step, depending on how much you have in you, but feeling more ambitious. I've got some more ideas. The next thing on my list is to do one thing that you've been putting off. And for me, that's going to be repotting this jade plant. It keeps falling over. It's getting really top heavy. It needs to be pruned so it stops falling over. And it's in this plastic pot, which doesn't have much weight to it. And right now I just have it like leaning against this table as the best solution for those problems. So yeah, pick something you've been putting off that's gonna make some difference to how your space looks. Oh my God, this is very heavy. Okay. The first time this tipped over, it fell from the top shelf in my living room, probably like 8 feet up, onto a chair. The pot totally exploded. A million tiny branches got broken off, and somehow the main trunk survived. It was a miracle. But since then, it's been even more lopsided and has tipped over a couple more times. So it's time. I'm repotting it, and I'm also pruning it pretty heavily. I want to reshape this so rather than having like long and skinny branches that get really heavy and just perpetuate this problem, it forms more of a tree shape with thicker branches that can support kind of like a canopy shape. And it looks pretty brutal, I have to say, so I'm really hoping I didn't just kill my beloved jade, but that it bounces back better than ever. Time will tell. Also, I'm gonna set this outside. Jade's like a lot of sunlight, and since I just like maimed it, I think it'll be good for it to get a little extra sun. Ow, went in my mouth. I used the extra soil from the jade to pot up this branch that I had trimmed off of that wonky tree in my bedroom makeover and has since sprouted roots. So now I've got another little tree. And now that I finally took care of all of that, the area was free to set up in a way that was much more inviting and practical. Also gonna take this lamp that I refinished from behind that couch and put it back where I originally intended, which is next to this table here. It's very lit up during the day, clearly, but at night there is no light around here, no overhead light. So it's nice to have a light next to this little table. It keeps it usable for, you know, all night long. Okay, well, I did that, and now I need to rest. So while I do that, I'll talk to you about my next idea, which I'm going to tackle once I have a snack and a little lay down. This is me the next day because I didn't really say what I meant to say. What I meant to say is that rearranging, which is what I'm going to do next, is a pretty like obvious way to refresh your space, but I think sometimes it can be kind of overwhelming. It requires a lot of tinkering, shifting things around. It can take a lot of time. So I'm breaking it down into two like types of rearranging that I'm going to tackle. One is swapping things. So taking two things that serve the same function and swapping their locations. Maybe you have an accent chair upstairs, you have one in your living room, swap those out, that kind of thing. The other type of rearranging I'm gonna try is to just like focus on the focal point of the room, whatever that is. Maybe it's your like fireplace mantle or your bay window or a gallery wall that you have in your bedroom. Whatever it is, that can have a big impact because that's where your eye goes first in the room. So switching that up in some way can make a big difference in how the room feels to you. With all that said, let's rearrange some stuff. For my major swap, I decided I'd swap these green curtains from the seating area with the white curtains in my living room. I never really intended to hang those green curtains out there, but I just had them and I put them up, and I've never really liked how they looked with the blue walls. Meanwhile, the living room has a lot of green accents in it that I think could complement these green curtains a lot better, so I'm going to try that out. And I like the white curtains a lot in here. I'm not so sure about the green curtains in there. I think maybe just white curtains should be everywhere. So I'm just gonna lean into it and see if it grows on me. So in here, the focal point is like this fireplace, the back wall, pretty decidedly. But this plant over here is like, it's really getting out of control. It's kind of encroaching on this chair. Like if you are sitting in the chair, it's tapping you on the shoulder, and it's also kind of like cluttering up that focal point of the shelf and, you know, the artwork and everything. Just makes that corner look cluttered. So I'm gonna move that and kind of just like simplify the focal point that is this back wall. It needs to be up higher, but I do like it out of that back corner. So see what I mean? Just simplifies the back wall. Next, I'm moving on to this bay window, which is the focal point of my dining area. Someday I want to do something cool with this window, but today I'm just going to follow kind of the same line of thinking as the living room and just pare it down a bit. This shelf tends to collect clutter over time, and so to refresh it, I'm just cleaning it off and rearranging the plants a bit, and then filling up the bird feeder to give Chai Girl some entertainment while she's hanging out on her bed in there. And even just doing that makes it feel better to me. Okay, the sun did set, and thank God it rose again today because I didn't get through everything that I was hoping to yesterday. I want to do one more focal point rearrangement in my bedroom with my bed, and that's going to start with hanging some art above the bed. My friend made this piece of art. She's extremely talented, and I love this piece so much. I don't know that you would call this a painting. I don't know, but I think it's called encaustic. She works with like maybe paints, pigments, and wax, I believe, and like manipulates it with like a heat gun and brushes and stuff. I'm sure I'm not doing it justice. It has such amazing like texture and sheen to it from the wax, and I'm obsessed with it. I like how this adds some much needed height variation to the headboard. So I just set it on the ledge and secured it to the wall so it can't tip forward and kill me in my sleep. I want to hear about this hammer, okay? It's the only one I have inside for reasons unclear to me. Okay, next thing that's going to make a major impact on this bed is to change the sheets. In many bedrooms, like mine, the bed tends to be the focal point of the room, so depending on the variety of bedding you have to work with, just changing your sheets or bedspread or even pillowcases can make a pretty big impact on how your whole room looks and feels. I wish I had more color to work with in my bedding, but I'm just using what I have. So I just swapped in these purple pillowcases and freshened up the bedside tables by rearranging some of the items on there and wiping them down. I like how this bird, like when I go to use the lamp, the bird swings out. Look at that cutie. It looks like an angry bird. And then when I put it back, he's like in his launch position. His little tail against the wall. I'm gonna take it one step further and do a very, very, very simple DIY. I don't even know if you could call it a DIY. I'm gonna take this yoga bag that I don't ever use, cut the handle off and stuff it to make one of those those pillows, you know, the long sausage pillows. I keep this bin of clothes and random cloth things that have holes or rips or whatever, which I never really get around to repairing. So I used a few of the things from here to stuff this pillow, and then to finish off the other end, I cinched it super tight, tucked the string inside, and just carefully cut the handle off. I have a beautiful little sausage pillow. What the hell are these things called? Today I'm feeling quite a bit better, and now that I have some more energy, I'm going to tackle the next thing on my list of ideas, which is to pick one thing to clean and like really go to town on it, you know, like deep clean one thing. I choose my tub. Now the concept of cleaning to refresh your space is nothing innovative, okay? But I'm the kind of person who falls deep down cleaning rabbit holes and gets stuck there. I might notice there's some crumbs in the silverware drawer, so I empty that out to wipe it down. And before you know it, there's 2 more drawers being emptied and wiped down. And then I'm on my hands and knees wiping down all the toe kicks on all my kitchen cupboards, and the day is over. There's a time and a place for that type of cleaning, sure, but when I'm already wiped out, I've got to put some bounds on myself, or these tasks will just suck up my whole evening and my whole store of energy, you know? Anyways, I cleaned this tub. It looked great. I hung this plant that I took from downstairs, and then I was done with cleaning and moved on to the next thing. All right, the next idea I had was to pick like one spot or area that you use every day that could be like amped up a little bit, shown a little bit of love. I'm not talking about like a whole room, okay? You use your bathroom every day. We're not gonna be renovating the bathroom. I mean like maybe your makeup station or your coffee station or where you keep your shoes that you put on when you walk out the door. Something that you interact with every day, because I think it can have an outsized impact to improve that because you're interacting with it all the time. I chose to focus on my dear, sweet, life-giving coffee station. It's the first thing I stare at, bleary-eyed every morning, and it could use a little love. So again, I just started by shifting things around a little bit and wiping everything down. I liked the flow of this arrangement better, so I stuck with that. And then to add a little something extra, I thought I'd hang a piece of art above it. I have this art calendar that has a different piece of art each day, and these prints were about the right size for this random square frame that I also had. So I picked one out that I liked and just popped it into this frame and hung it on the wall with command strips. To some, it will be infuriating that I put this square so close and like just overlapping with that black tile square on there. I get it because it looks very drastic on camera, but in real life, you'll just have to trust me. That square looks much more just kind of like part of the background. So I'm aware of it, but I'm doing it anyways because in real life, I think it looks good. And this is all about my real life. Hanging art is never a bad idea, in my opinion, but I think it's especially charming to me when it's hung somewhere unexpected, which I feel is part of why I enjoy this little piece of art here so much, to greet me in the morning. Okay, the last thing on my list is to bring in some life, bring in some nature. And this can be flowers, this could be greenery, this could be a branch with a couple leaves on it, whatever you desire, really. You don't have to go out to the florist and buy some big bouquet. Do that if you want. Or if you have the ability to go outside and just pick a few little flowers or some cool looking grasses, that would do the trick too. So I have quite a few plants already. My house is not really lacking in greenery, I wouldn't say. So I'm going to focus more on the florals. I'm going to just go outside in my yard and see what I can find. And just pop a couple little vases around and finish things off. Oh, it is damp out. That is spiky. How pretty. There are some pink flowers up there. Right there. I had to move my beehives to my deck, long story, but there's 3 beehives right there. So I don't want to suit up to go get those flowers, but I think I could just pop over there real quick and grab a couple. Don't mind me, bees. Don't mind me. Oh, yeah. All right, I think I'm done now with this micro makeover. Otherwise, I don't think I'm going to be able to call it that anymore. I did work on this for like 2 days, but as you know, I was ill and working very slowly, taking a lot of breaks. So it wasn't that much stuff, even though it took me a couple days to do it. But all that is to say too, like these are just ideas. You don't have to do all of them. I think, like I said, if you just stopped after cleaning, your space would obviously feel pretty refreshed. But if you're feeling motivated to change things up a bit in your space, just try picking a couple of these ideas and trying them out and seeing if it does anything for you. They're pretty low effort, low commitment. So I hope you got something out of this video, and I have to say, I'm pretty happy with the results. That looks really different in here. Feels very new, refreshed, and I think it cured me.